Super Rugby, folks, and the Chiefs still unbeaten, 44 points to 25. Goodness gracious me. That was a bit of a crazy game. If you saw it, very tit for tat, certainly not perfect. The handling of both sides at times left a lot to be desired, but we'll go through some of the key events and stats and whatnot, and you guys can let us know your thoughts. But yeah, 44-25. Am I missing something, or did the Chiefs not get a bonus point? Isn't it 6 tries to 4, or is my maths just that bad? The post-match people and in the little on-field interview said they got maximum points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you have to get 3 more tries, or do they change something that I'm missing? Maybe I'm just out of touch, but either way, 10 tries in the game. It was a pretty busy one. And look at all these try scorers for the Chiefs. It's all the bloody backs. These guys are honestly really clinical. It was an afternoon game down in Hamilton. Pretty decent crowd. Like, I've been a little bit underwhelmed with some of the crowds thus far, apart from kind of Fiji and one of the games in New South Wales. But that crowd actually looked pretty solid, remembering that the stadiums are relatively decent size here in NZ for the level of game they play, right? They're all kind of 20, 30,000 seaters at least. So, yeah, I think it was a decent wee crowd, and it was like Kids Day, right? If your kid had registered for rugby, bring your kid along to the game for free. So, a decent wee crowd, afternoon game. And the Rebels in a pink jersey, which was something a wee bit different. Believe it or not, the Rebels actually had the lead for a short time. They kicked an early penalty through Reece Hodge to be 3-0 in front. And they did actually, put some decent phases together at times, but kind of couldn't finish off. They did eventually get one from turnover ball when Murphy was able to go over on 11 minutes. It took them a wee while. Hodge with the initial line break. It was pretty nice. 8 points to 0. The Chiefs, in kind of, I guess, a show of respect when they first had a chance to kick a penalty, they opted for that one. Both sides were, as I said, a lot of handling errors for an afternoon game. I'm not sure what the deal was, because I wouldn't have thought there's much dew on the ball at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's not like Queensland down in Hamilton where it gets like ultra sweaty, so not sure what the deal was. Just I think a few kind of skills errors. But as I said, 10 tries. So you'd be kind of hard-pressed to be complaining too much about that. When the Chiefs could hold the ball, they scored some pretty nice tries. Paul Heapy got the first one. I think that was the one with Narawa, just on kick return. Just absolute wheels. Geez, that guy's quick. Nice offload. 10 points to 8. Chiefs get in front. They will not go behind again in this match. And their scrum was starting to get on top as well. There was a lot of scrums, because I mentioned the handling errors. So a lot of scrums. I mean, Gatland kicked it dead at one point, which is a bit of an unforced error. But for the most part, man, they extended the lead on 31 minutes with another penalty. Reece Hodge went off, unfortunately, with a cut hand and didn't come back on. So it must have been a relatively decent job of it that he's done. But then we get another try for the Chiefs. This time it's Narawa who's able to finish it off. The quick hands, Pohipi involved in that one. Narawa gathered the kick from Pohipi. It was pretty sweet. They had, I guess, a look at his foot and touch, and they said it was all right. So 20 points to 8. And then, like, Sean Stevenson, he just can't stop scoring tries, man. Like, he wasn't even really the star of the show for this one, but he still manages 2 tries. This one's another chip through, and it's from Nankivell this time. Stevenson is the guy who's able to finish it off. So 27-8, it's looking like the Rebels are in for an absolute hiding. And I guess you could argue 25-44 is still pretty decently well beaten. But, I mean, the Rebels weren't done. They did manage to score the last try of the half through Illy. And it was also pretty kind of well-worked play. Gordon with the inside ball, or from a nice line-out move. So 27-15. I did think the Chiefs, despite like scoring some nice tries, their receipt of restarts is not great. It's messy, and as I said, there were a few messy elements of the game, but I mean, overall you'd be pretty happy scoring 3 pretty nice tries in the first half, but they did concede 2, so the Rebels by no means were kind of out of the game. The goal kicking also did let them down a bit, though. I think Gatland had a much better day with the boot than Gordon did. Run meters at halftime, 295 to 184, so it's the Chiefs, 4 offloads to none, but 11 turnovers conceded by the Chiefs and 7 by the Rebels, of which knock-ons are 9 and 4. So that's a lot of drop ball. Neither side's going to be happy with that. The territory edges the Chiefs in front, but the position's pretty even. But then the Chiefs just start second half, man, out of the blocks once again. One of the forwards actually gets the try. This time they actually allow the forwards to get a try. Although it was the backs that kind of set that one up. So Thompson is able to go over. So 34-15 again. It's starting to look like the scoreline is going to absolutely blow out. The Rebels were under a heap of pressure and more points did come. Nankivell got stripped at one point when he was having a big carry, but it still finished with the Chiefs score through Stevenson. He was able to pounce on it. His finish in terms of his grounding wasn't that convincing, but it was good enough. Kept his fingers on the ball. So 34-15 again. It looks like it's going to be, properly embarrassing maybe for the Rebels. But again, to the Rebels' credit, when they needed a reply to at least keep the game kind of interesting, they did get it. They got the one through Juiced on 48 minutes. Good carry, some good hands. Like Pafan was I think had come on for that one. Just good carries and good hands in the contact, which is pleasing for them because up until this point it's not been a fine day at the office. So 39-20. It is a bit of a crazy game when the Rebels are on attack. There's turnover ball and it finishes with a Nana Saturo try. It's kind of brutal, man, out on the left wing. Like I think it was Lowrens, the halfback, just got slammed when he was going for the ball and it ends up turnover ball for the Chiefs. So Chiefs defending ferociously ends up with them scoring a try. So that's, I guess, the sign of a pretty good side. They can just turn you around like that. So 44-20. But that's the last scoring of the Chiefs. So they're really good off turnover ball. They're really good off those kicks through. But they didn't score for the rest of the game, which will be a little bit of a kind of worrying trend. I mean, I guess you just clock up 44 points in 53 minutes. Can't complain too much. But, I mean, yeah, they would have liked to have finished the game a bit better. The Rebels certainly came back into it. They got held up. They put a heap of pressure on. The Chiefs' defense, though, was really, really top-notch. Rebels' errors at times were pretty frustrating. Their hands let them down. They finally did get one through the substitute Filui on 74 minutes. That's only his second game, I think, so even I don't know how to say his name yet. But, it was all from a turnover ball from Wilkin, actually. So 44-25, another missed kick from the Rebels. But, that's the way the scoring finishes. The Chiefs did try to get a maul try at the end, but kind of nothing doing. First one gets advantage, second one just ends up going to ground. So it's game over. 6 tries to 4, right? You need 3 more tries than your opponent for a bonus point? Or am I missing something? Do tell me if I'm just being silly. I would have used a stronger word, but anyway. Possession finishes 50-50, man, and the Chiefs, with their running game, 450 run meters to 370, so I guess that edges the effectiveness of their carrying. Defenders beaten, though, was 16-15. Clean breaks, I think, was 6-6, so it's kind of tight in a lot of key areas, but the finishing, man, and as I said, turnover ball, Chiefs are just brutal. Turnovers conceded 14-16, again, is pretty high. Rebels certainly coughed up a fair bit of pill in that second half, especially. Individuals, man, Wilkin wins 3 turnovers, has 12 from 12 tackles, great defensive shift from him, used the fullback, a try, 52 metres, a couple of defenders beaten. Narawa, not only does he have 119 run meters, 7 defenders beat, but he also has 2 turnovers, 1. Jacobson, 10 out of 10 tackles and a turnover, 1. Stevenson, a try assist, 2 tries, 40 meters from him. What else can you say, man? He's in a good run of form. So there you go, Chiefs, still undefeated. Rebels, I don't think as bad as that scoreline looks. They had some periods, like they're sure they've lost by almost 20 points, but they had some periods where they could have potentially gotten a bit more, and if they kick a few more conversions, then the scoreline looks a bit healthier than what it does. So at least they've showed us some kind of exciting play, even if they didn't get a result away in Hamilton, which right now seems like a bit of a fortress. So there you go. Chiefs are playing the Waratahs away next week, and the Rebels will be back in Melbourne, home to the Reds. You guys let us know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.